Imagine a classroom where every student gets an instant answer to every question. No frustration, no confusion, no failure. At first glance, it sounds ideal, but if everything is easy, when do students learn to persist? Today's AI tools are powerful. They can solve math problems, generate writing, explain complex topics, and break down instructions with incredible speed. But in that efficiency lies a potential loss. When machines remove the friction from learning, they risk removing the struggle that helps shape student character. Grit, or sustained effort toward long-term goals, is more than a buzzword. It's a trait linked to academic success, career achievement, and personal growth. Angela Duckworth's research made this clear. Students who learn to stick with hard tasks often outperform peers with higher IQs, but less perseverance. So how do we nurture that grit when AI can now do the hard part for us? Here's the key. Grit doesn't disappear in an AI-supported classroom, but it must be deliberately built. Let's take an example. A middle school student is assigned a research paper. With AI, they can instantly get an outline, a list of sources, even sample paragraphs. But what if the teacher reframes the assignment? Instead of focusing only on the end product, they ask students to document their process. How did they revise their ideas? What challenges did they face? What did they reject? And why? Now, the paper becomes more than just a finished document. It becomes evidence of effort, iteration, and resilience. This, my friends, encourages grit. Or consider a math classroom. A student struggles with factoring polynomials. With AI, they could simply type the equation and get a solution. But what if the teacher sets the rule? AI can be used only after a student has attempted 3 approaches on their own and explains each one. Now, struggle becomes part of the assignment, not a barrier to it. Teachers can build grit intentionally by designing tasks that require reflection on process, not just answers, giving feedback that rewards persistence, not just correctness, and modeling how to respond to setbacks with curiosity instead of shame. And it's not just about classroom policy, it's about classroom culture. When a student says, "This is hard," and the response is, "Good, that means you're learning," it redefines the purpose of effort.
AI isn't the enemy of grit, but it can replace it if we're not careful. In a world where shortcuts are available everywhere, the ability to stick with something difficult becomes a superpower. Our job as educators is to help students develop that power, not by removing struggle, but by teaching them how to move through it.
Because in the end, students won't remember the instant answers AI gave them. They'll remember what they learned to do when the answer wasn't obvious. And that memory, that effort, that's grit.